I'm going to record this. Look at number 20. In order for us to do number 20, see, the first reaction might be thinking, I want to distribute, but no, don't distribute. What are we going to do here? We know zero product property, so we know that if we have something times something else and it equals 0, we could split them and set them each equal to 0. So I'm going to do the 4b in red, the b plus 4 in blue. So when I split them, 4b could equal 0, and b plus 4 could equal 0. So you get two simple equations. Let's solve both of them. This one you just divide by 4, b equals 0. And this one over here, minus 4, b equals minus 4. Those are your two answers for this one problem. If you wanted to, you could plug in 0 right there, and you'll see that when you work it out, it does give you 0. Or you could plug in negative 4. Negative 4 also works, because when you plug in a negative 4 here, negative 4 plus 4 is 0, and it doesn't matter what this outside is, it's going to end up being 0. So you could double check your answers by plugging them in, or you could check the back of your notes that has all the answers. So, is this easy or is this hard?
Not that bad.
It's not that bad. I mean, even if we do something like 23, let's look at 23 right here. Is it factored already for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to distribute. That would be pointless. I'm just going to use zero product property. This guy, I'm going to set it equal to 0. And this guy, I'm going to set it equal to 0. These are like two separate problems, right? Let's solve the first one by subtracting 5. Subtracting 5 cancels. We have a 2y equaling negative 5. My final step is to divide by 2. Divide by 2. And that's my answer. Y equals negative 5 halves. Or you could say negative 2.5. Or you could say negative 2.5. I think on your answers they leave it as an improper fraction, negative 5 halves. For the other one, let's add 4 and add 4. You're going to get y equals 4. And that's it. Those are your two answers for number 23. So as you can see, the first half of the back side is really easy. Why? Because they're all factored form. Just split them. I mean, you already know that the answer is going to be x equals 0 and x equals positive 32. But you need to show your work, all right? Split them, set them each equal to 0, and solve. Now, what's the difference between the first half, 19 through 24, and the second half, 25 through 30? What's the difference visually? What was that? They're not. It's not in factored form. Yeah, it's not. You have to factor, right? So number 22 right here, it's nice and beautiful and ready to split. But number 25, it's not ready to split. All of these down here are not ready to split. In other words, you need multiplication to be able to use a zero product property. So number 26, I'm just jumping around doing some random questions here. Number 26, it is set equal to 0, but I don't have multiplication, I have subtraction. So what I want to do is I want to factor, I want to do reverse distributed property so I could end up with multiplication. So what's in common? A 4 and a p. That's right. Now, if I do pull out that GCF of 4p, what would I have in here? 4p times what will get us an 8p squared? 2 with a p, right? And how about 4p times what will get us a negative 4p? A minus 1. And of course, this is still equal to 0. So now I really do have the zero product property that I could apply. I have the first 4p. I could set that equal to 0. 4p equals 0. That's one equation. I have the 2p minus 1. I could set that equal to 0. 2p minus 1. Set that equal to 0. So solving the left equation, I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. P equals 0. That is one answer. The other one, plus 1. Plus 1. 2p equals 1. Divide by 2 on both sides. And you will get p equals 1/2. So p equals 1/2. So those are your two answers, 0 and 1/2 for number 26. So obviously the second half of this backside is a little bit more challenging. Not only that, I mean, check this out, guys. There's some equations that are not equal to 0. And the only way you could apply the zero product property is if you're multiplying two things and your answer is 0. You don't even have equal to 0 right here. So if I want an equal to 0 right here, what could I do? I could make it go to the other side by doing the opposite of minus 21. The opposite of minus 21 is plus 21 with an x, of course, that'll cancel it out, plus 21 with an x over here. Now, could I actually add 14x plus 21x? No, it's not gonna be 35x cubed. You can't add it. They're not like terms. So all you're gonna do is rewrite it. Let's rewrite it. 14x squared plus 21x, and the equal sign comes down, and of course there's nothing left on the right side. So you see what we've done is, we didn't have it equal to 0. I moved it to the other side. Now it is equal to 0. Now, is it ready to do zero product property? Not yet. It's still adding. You have something plus something. You need something times something.
7x.
Yeah, so let's factor out the GCF, put some parentheses, and you're going to pull out the GCF, which is 7x. If you do pull out a 7x, what's going to be left over right here?
2x.
A 2 and an x. Good job. And then 7x times what gets you a 21x? A 3, a plus 3. Perfect. And of course, it's still equal to 0, and now you really do have zero product property to apply. You have the 7x times 2x plus 3. So the 7x, that could be 0, and the 2x plus 3, that could be 0. Again, you could only do this split because there's an equal to 0. If you didn't have this equal to 0, you wouldn't be able to do that, right? So because you have something times something equals 0, the first something could be 0, the second something could be 0. Now let's solve both of them. Divide by 7, divide by 7, x equals 0. That's one answer. That's an ugly 0. I apologize. It's a little better. And the other one, let's subtract 3, subtract 3. We're going to end up with 2x equaling negative 3. Final step would be to divide by 2. Divide by 2 cancels, x equals negative 3 halves. Or you could say negative 2.5 or negative 2.5. Either way, both of those are your answers. 0 and negative 3 halves. I believe they leave it in improper form on your answers. What do you guys think? How many have I done here? Many. Yeah, I've done a lot. Okay, so you guys work on the rest. And that's all we're doing today. It's very important that if you haven't finished that front side where you're factoring by grouping, you got to practice that, because we're going to be using factoring by grouping a lot on this section, right, on this chapter.